Hey everybody, RetroWolf88 here. In case you couldn't tell by this beautiful line of games sitting in front of me right now, I'm a fan of the Metroid Prime series. It's one of my favorite video game trilogies of all time. And today we got the unfortunate news that Nintendo is restarting the development of Metroid Prime 4 for the Nintendo Switch from the beginning, from scratch. While this is very unfortunate news, it's not the end of the world, and I'm going to explain to you why. So let's get into it. Metroid Prime 4 was announced to be in development almost 2 years ago now. And as you can imagine, this left Nintendo fans just incredibly excited, especially fans like me of the Metroid Prime series. We never in a million years thought we would get another entry to the Metroid Prime series. And once they confirmed that, it just blew up the internet, basically. Well, sadly today, Nintendo dropped a video this morning on YouTube basically explaining to us that the development of Metroid Prime 4 has been very challenged. It hasn't been satisfactory. It hasn't been up to Nintendo's standards of quality. And because of that, they have decided that they're going to start development over from the very beginning with Retro Studios. Now, this is, of course, very disappointing, because if they're starting the game over from the very beginning, it could be another 3 to 5 years before this game is released. So, yes, that sucks. However, it's not going to be the end of the world. There are a few good things that came out of this, and let me explain. First things first, I have to give credit to Nintendo, because they handled this very well. They were open and honest with us about what happened. Well, of course, they didn't get into the details, which I wouldn't expect them to. They were open and honest with us and communicated to us, the consumers, the fan base, what's going on with Metroid Prime 4, what the plan is going forward. They were open in their communication, and they communicated that very well. Second thing, yes, they probably should have went with Retro Studios from the very beginning with the development of this game. Retro Studios is one of the most talented game developing studios in the world. They developed the original Metroid Prime trilogy. They developed Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii. They developed Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Wii U and Nintendo Switch. Those two Donkey Kong games are some of the finest 2D platformer games ever made, and they are a masterclass in video game design, as are the original 3 games in the Metroid Prime trilogy. I'm very, very happy that Nintendo has decided to turn this over to Retro Studios, because Retro Studios, they're gonna do a good job. I can guarantee you that when this game comes out, it's going to be incredible, because I trust Retro Studios. They have put out some of the best games I've ever played, and I have utmost faith that they will put out a 100% quality product. So we can look forward to a really, really fantastic game, maybe even a masterpiece. We're just going to have to wait quite a bit longer. Second thing that Nintendo did that I really appreciate, I want you to consider this, okay? If they've been developing this game for the last 2 years, can you imagine how much money they've already spent on the development of this game, only to scrap all that and start over from the beginning? I can't. I would imagine it's probably millions and millions of dollars already. I mean, this is a big budget AAA title from Nintendo, and they know that the fans have very high standards for this game, and they're not going to pull any punches with this. So they've probably spent an outrageous amount of money so far in the development. I don't know that for sure. I'm just making an assumption. One thing that I really respect about how Nintendo is handling this is they're not giving up on the game. They're not canceling the game completely. They're not continuing with the development of a game that they're not satisfied with. So let me just give you an example. If this was EA, guess what? They would have canceled it completely. Just look at how they're handling the Star Wars franchise. They would have canceled it completely, and not only that, they would have charged us $50 to watch the announcement of the cancellation. Or they would have thrown the announcement of the cancellation in a loot box for us to buy. If this was Bethesda, Bethesda would have released the game anyways. Even if they weren't satisfied with it, even if it was broken, they would have released it anyways, and it would have been a robot announcing it to us instead of an NPC. I mean, a real human. Now look, don't get me wrong, I love Bethesda. I still really love their games, and I'm looking forward to the future from the company, and I truly do think that Bethesda is going to learn a very hard lesson from the mistakes that they've made recently. EA, I don't hate EA. I hate the executives at EA that make these terrible decisions that we see. And I hate that these executives are running EA, while it used to be a great company back in the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox era, they're running the company into the ground. What I'm getting at here is Nintendo did not do either of those things. Instead of canceling the game or releasing it anyways, they communicated to us, the consumer, that they're starting over from the beginning so that they can release the quality product up to the standards that we expect from them. So while it is unfortunate news, we do have to look at the bright side, and we have to give Nintendo credit for how they handled this. Like I said, yes, they should have went with Retro Studios from the beginning, but they didn't. It is what it is. They're going with Retro Studios now, and that has me very excited for the future of Metroid Prime 4, and I have no doubt that when this game comes out, it's going to be incredible. In the meantime, Nintendo, please re-release the original Metroid Prime trilogy on the Switch. Make it HD. If you have to do it one game at a time, I don't care. If you could put it all together in a package, that's great too. Nintendo, this year, Metroid Prime trilogy. Make it happen, please. We need that not only to bring newer gamers into the Metroid Prime trilogy that maybe have never played the original 3, but also to hold us over until Metroid Prime 4 comes out. Try not to be too discouraged, try not to be too upset, and just focus on the fact that we are going to get one incredible game in the future. If you enjoyed this news update from me, RetroWolf88, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. We've got all kinds of fun stuff planned, and you're not gonna want to miss it. I appreciate you watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I'll catch you later.